Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Yo-Yo Store Rewind. My name is T from TokYo-Yo. Today we're going to be taking a look at a recently released yo-yo. This yo-yo is the sequel to another one which a lot of people liked, me included. This is a yo-yo from Duncan, from a designer and his team that I think are really awesome. We're going to be taking a look at the new Duncan Origami. So here we are looking at the new Duncan Origami. This thing has a nice V-H shape hybrid. Got a nice step up in the center here. You've got a little bit of a slope going up to the gap, and then these nice big rims, which also have this cut inside here, giving it a lot more rim weight. In the cup you have Origami at the top, the name of the yo-yo. Bryan Jardin is at the bottom, that's the designer. I believe he also worked with the Duncan team to design this as well. In the center you have the Duncan logo and an origami bird, it looks like. I don't know if it's a crane or not, I think it's just a regular old bird. The material is 6061 aluminum. The feel is very, very nice in the hand. It's a very, very comfortable yo-yo. I don't know if it's the most comfortable on a catch, but definitely in the hand it has a really nice hand feel. The look of the yo-yo is incredibly striking. All these have a really, really nice design. The solids also have sort of a different logo in the center. This one is matte blasted and it has this splash colorway as well. So it's extremely matte. That's okay for grinds. And then the matte ones also have the origami bird inside, in a little bit of a different design than the solid colors. So as for the history of the Origami, this yo-yo is the sequel to the Origami, which came out, a year or so ago, maybe 2 years ago, from Duncan. That was designed by Bryan Jardin, who is typically a 5A player, but he can do all kinds of play. He's a really, really amazing player. If you haven't seen his stuff, you should definitely go check it out. I'm sorry about these cicadas, you guys. This is terrible, but I can't put off the video anymore. And then this one was designed with him and his team at the same time. I went and chased that cicada off. I swear he just flew from that tree to that one. Hold on a second. Okay, I did my best, sorry. Anyway, I don't even remember where I was anymore. This yo-yo was designed in conjunction with Bryan Jardin and his team. The differences between this one and the original are kind of hard to see at a first glance. Oh, he stopped, thank goodness. But yeah, as far as that, it's also had a little bit of hype going for it. They've been announcing it for a while, so it's been kind of interesting to see how this one plays compared to the original. As for playability of the Duncan Origami, this thing plays, I feel like, a little bit heavier than the original Origami. I'm not sure why that is. The original Origami, I feel like, is a very zippy yo-yo. It's extremely quick. This one feels a little bit more deliberate, a little bit more heavy. I'm not sure why that is. It definitely still has that nimble feeling to it, but I think the way the weight has been distributed, perhaps there's more weight on the rims, and so I feel like it plays a little bit heavier for that reason. Also, I believe they made it just a tad bit more narrow as well, more narrow than the original, so I think that might also kind of give it a little bit more of a rim weighty feel. It plays very, very well on the string. It has very, very nice grinds because of the matte finish. Finger spins are sort of going to be the same as the original. You can get them, but they're not always going to be the best because there's very little space here and here to land your finger. You can get a finger spin for probably a few seconds. And this nub also, I don't know if it's taller than the original nub, but it definitely feels like it. I really like both of the Origamis. Putting them side by side is a little bit tricky, especially since I feel like the new one is sort of trying to make an improvement on the original. But to be honest, I actually really like the original as well. When I play them side by side, I don't really know if I prefer either one. I think it's going to come down to what your preferences are. If you're looking for something that feels a little bit more zippy, feels a little bit lighter, the original Origami definitely feels that. For a bit more power, a bit more deliberation, a bit more like purpose when you're throwing, the new one feels like it's more down that road. One thing I was just a little bit disappointed in, and I'm not sure, this might have something to do with the material, I don't know, but the original Origami had some kind of heavy nail vibe to it, and I was never able to tune it out. I tried different bearings, tried flipping the axle, all that stuff, never helped. And this one kind of had the same problem. It still has that nail vibe. It's absolutely smooth on the string. You can't feel any sense of vibe at all when it's playing on the string. So as long as you're not like doing a lot of grinds and stuff like that, it's not really going to bother you. I have a pretty high standard for vibe, so I find that it bothers me a little bit, but if you're not bothered by a little bit of nail vibe, it shouldn't be too bad. Plus, I've heard other people who've said that there's no vibe in there, so maybe I just got one that was a little vibey. I also think it might be because of the material. The material itself might cause a little bit of vibration against the nail, specifically because it is that really slick matte finish, which I think does kind of skip off your nail a little bit. Another thing I'd really like you guys to be careful about is when you're unscrewing this yo-yo. The original Origami I've unscrewed countless times. Like I said, I was trying to tune the vibe out of it. This one squeaks really bad when I take it apart, and I think that might just be, again, to do with the matte finish. I think it's like kind of getting used to being screwed apart. It was a little bit tight when I first got it, so that kind of worried me a little bit, and when I screwed and unscrew it, it does have a really loud squeak to it. So just be aware that when you're unscrewing your new Origami, just, if you hear that sound or anything, or if you're screwing it back together and it's making weird noise, just double check, as you always should with all your yo-yos. Make sure you're not cross-threading it, make sure you're not stripping it. I've never stripped a Duncan yo-yo, so I don't think it's really a problem, and this has a nice long axle, and it has the axle hubs here, so I don't think it's as big of a problem to strip as like other yo-yos would be. But just to keep it in mind. So those are the two things I'd kind of recommend with this yo-yo. But at the end of the day, do I prefer the original Origami or the new one? I think they're both cool in different ways. For me, I kind of go back and forth. Sometimes I like heavier yo-yos, sometimes I like yo-yos with a little bit more power to them. But I think the new Origami is the way to go with that. And if you're looking for something a little bit lighter, not quite as stable, a little bit more zippy, then I'd go with the original Origami. I think they're both fantastic throws, and I can definitely see why Duncan went back to the drawing board to make another one, because I think, at least for Bryan Jardin and for his team, I think this is probably a much better throw than what they were going for with the original Origami. Alright, thank you so much for watching, boys and girls. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave us a like, a comment, and subscription. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you for watching Yo-Yo Store Rewind today. I'm sorry about the cicadas and the wind. It's super crazy. The weather's nuts right now. I think we're having a typhoon soon. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care. Have a nice day, and sayonara.